I think the Hospitals Cup has this unique ability to bring people together, and there is a very important, hard contested games all the time to try and win, but it expands beyond that.
I'm quite passionate about this competition. I've done a lot of the research in the earlier part of it, and I really can't get over how unique rugby was in the involvement that the medical profession had in it.
I wouldn't use the word enjoyment because there's so much you're trying to remember, and there are so many people here in the room that were involved in the competition, and there's an enormous amount of work. We only skirted over the very surface of it this evening in the short hour that we had.
The importance of the Dublin Hospitals Cup cannot be overstated. The competition was established in 1881 and is thought to be one of the longest running competitions in world rugby. All rugby playing medical students and doctors crave the honour and glory of a Hospitals Cup medal. So the individuals who can tell you all about the competition and the players throughout history are our panel of Dublin Hospital Cup experts, who I'm going to introduce you to now.
It actually dates from 1881, 1882, but it grew out of a very strong rugby tradition in Dublin hospitals for some years.
The hospital trophy itself has been subjected to a number of injuries over the years, but perhaps most famously was in 2005 when the Mater Hospital won the trophy, and the trophy was taken to Hartigan's across on the far side of Leeson Street. And the president or coach, I think he's here in the audience, he can tell us the story better than I can, took the trophy home by taxi, but was followed by a student from the rowing club in University College Dublin who promptly, I think he may have tapped him on the head. And a couple of hours later, a text message was sent through to Hartigan's pub to say that the trophy was available for a ransom.
The early 70s, I think the dental hospital had beaten a College of Surgeons team in the final. And it was on a Sunday afternoon, and the game was over at 4 o'clock, and everybody just retired to the bar, and they turned up in the Pirates' Den at 8 o'clock, but the meal wasn't served till 8:30. And the great mistake, and if there's any restaurant here, do not serve Brussels sprouts to a team of rugby players. Actually, the guards arrived, everyone filed out. There was one of the College of Surgeons team, though, who refused to leave. It transpired he was a Norwegian. I think he was a sailor. He was an Olympian, a sailor, and he claimed that he had diplomatic immunity. So
I think the cup is now going to be locked away and people can come and peer at it occasionally. But
in terms of eligibility from a playing point of view, I see a puff in your cheeks there.
Students from the pre-clinical years were found to have played, and this caused enormous difficulty. But in recent years, it has become apparent that some fellas who have long beards and are almost in walking sticks but can still play rugby and are now living up in North Donegal or somewhere will turn up for a particular hospital in Dublin. And, best of luck to them. They have a sense of...
Which hospital are you talking about?
I'm not mentioning any names. The medical, if you like, affiliations of some of the people who've played in the Hospitals Cup, and of course, now that the medical school here has expanded to include physiotherapy and nursing and so on, there have been one or two occasions when a physiotherapist has actually played in the competition. And looking down through the room here, I can see a man who is as tall as myself, if not taller, with whom I played in the second row. He basically ran the radiology department in Jervis Street and ran the radiology department in Beaumont. He wasn't medically qualified, but he could have been, and he was my second row partner for a number of years. So there have been issues over non-medical people, but we've always sort of got around that. So.
As president of the organisation, that has stopped entirely.
I thought you were going to say you were astonished to hear that story, but...
Every game that is contested with a ferocity and a skill that would entice any person who loves rugby to come along and watch those games. So I think it's in a good place, and what will make it really put it in a good place is when the Trinity side win eventually, which
Firstly, I'd just like to thank Dr Farrell, Prof Feighery, Dr Crowe and Michael Corcoran for what really was an enjoyable talk. Just walking in this evening through the boardroom, it was extraordinary really to see the finals documented from 1880s right the way through to 2019, and it's great to be a part of that history. I'd like to take this opportunity firstly to thank the supporters of the competition. It does mean a lot for the students to see consultants out at games and people they do look up to when they see them down. And I know from talking to players across all the hospitals, that goes right across the board.